Welcome to the Loveland Report and Loan Arranger Show. I am Cleve Loveland, Central Florida's best real estate planner, alongside Bruce Woodburn, the Loan Arranger.
That's
We
me.
give you all of your real estate news, all of your mortgage news. We're going to talk about Iran, what that dropping bombs on Iran did to rates. We're going to talk about what it's going to do to the real estate market. We're going to talk about how not to lose money on your investment properties, and that involves your family. Figure that out. And then we're going to talk about what to fix first if you're getting ready to go on the market. And we'll go through all that. What do you have, Bruce?
I've got a lot of things. I want to talk a little bit about some shenanigans that I find are going on in the mortgage industry right now. Who's being fined for deceptive practices? I want to talk about how the war in Iran has affected interest rates, what's going on, what's anticipated to happen. And I also want to get into a little bit more about tax season and helping people that may be self-employed and they still want to buy a home. Interest rates have definitely improved and the market is red hot right now. But I also want to discuss with you, what are you finding on buyers that need closing costs and how is that affecting them in today's market? So we have a lot of things to get to, and Cleve is out and about today. So as soon as we're finished here, he's going to be out and about. If you need him to help you, he can be reached at 407-352-8118. Or if you'd like to get yourself pre-approved for a loan, call Bruce Woodburn, the Loan Arranger. That would be me at 407-250-9144 or WeBringYouHome.com.
All right. Now I want to dig in first, Bruce. I mentioned at the top of the show, Iran, what did that do to rates? Now, usually uncertainty, we were averaging 5.99, which was great. First time in 4 years. Did that pop the rates up a little bit?
Absolutely. We lost 41 basis points on the bond market on Monday and 31 basis points on the bond market on Tuesday. Now, good news is that started to rebound, and we picked up a lot of ground later on in the week. So things have come back, not quite where they were, but we do feel like they're going to be back there. So we're not panicking. Unless you had to lock a rate in right away, you're going to be just.
And I've been through all the Gulf Wars when I was in real estate and these things we've got going on in the Middle East ever since in 9/11. Everything always rebounds. We are America. That's what's great about our economy. But I just think this too shall pass as we see that this isn't going to be a long, drawn out 20-year Afghanistan war.
Yeah. And it really, what has primarily affected mortgage rates is the market was fearful of the Strait of Hormuz, I think it was called, being shut down because it's a very narrow strait, and 20% of the world's oil wasn't oil
and products, just products in general.
Yeah, it is more natural gas from there. The oil can come from other boats, but that strip has the natural gas and it supplies 20% of it. So it is a big deal.
Yeah.
And they are concerned about, mines in the area. Iran.
It's closed right now.
So
probably
really
will be for a bit.
It's really affecting the market. But I think the market is starting, once you get Trump and Hegseth on the air talking about how they have no concerns about this. They got it under control. And I know Hakeem Jeffries is, we're going to lose. There's no way we can win. I honestly think that the Democrats would like us to lose. I really do.
That's
just so it would look bad on Trump.
Typical.
They'd rather sacrifice the entire country to look horrible and lose than have Trump have a win.
But looking at the big picture on the rates though, Bruce, like when we've hit these low points, like where it's time to refinance, we hit 5.99 back in 15 months ago, September, I think.
Yep.
And then we floated around 7 and slowly trickled back down. People need to listen to you when you say lock your loan or it's time to refinance.
On average, when I see opportunities, they last for 1 to 3 days. That opportunity. Now you may say, oh, wait a minute. We had rates in the 3s for 2.5, 3 years. You're right. We did.
We had a pandemic.
We did, but that's not going to happen again.
Yeah.
If you look at typical patterns, you aren't going to see, and the market can spring back. I didn't expect a war on the weekend. And so when I came into the office, all the people I quoted interest rates to all week that did not lock got a little bit of a surprise on Monday and Tuesday. And some of them panicked and said, let's lock in. Now others said, you know what, let's just hold tight. Let's see. Now it could have gotten even worse, but they didn't. So they started to spring back. I give you advice to try to help you. Like, I don't want clients to be taken advantage of. And I'm seeing a lot of that happening right now, particularly with veterans. And I'm going to get into that a little bit more in segment 2 after you do your listings. But I do want to talk about some scams that are going on that you really need to be aware of. So be cautious.
Well, I
we'll
think
hit that.
Well, I'm already seeing, it's funny. I've got some nationwide news here about how sales, new home sales, are up over last year already. So just 1 month of reporting in, and they're 4% higher than before, probably fueled by the rates. And it's funny, I didn't see builders cut prices last year, but I saw them offering great closing costs. And then I saw those closing cost bonuses shrink towards the last quarter of the year. And so new home sales usually will lead the way, but that money flowing around, that's basically the 6% rate. And you've got Trinity that will give a bunch of money towards closing costs.
Yep,
And
I got a client in there over the weekend, as a matter of fact. Been looking all over the place. I got this client pre-approved, and Larry over at Trinity Lakes wrote the contract. The people are just thrilled to death. House will be ready in May. It's unbelievable. Yep. They got 25,000 in closing costs paid, which included a rate buy down.
And that's enough to buy your rate down and lock something in the fives, solidly mid fives or below, right?
Yep, absolutely. And a lot of these builders right now are offering these substantial rate buy downs. You want to be cautious of that too, because you don't want to use all your money for a rate buy down. You just want to use some of it for a rate buy down.
And that's what's important. I think people need to start talking to you before they get into the process. And like, you can improve credit scores. You can, and what would you say if you start talking to somebody and you quote them a rate? Do you see like how much you're improving for people over months?
If they need it, I have a client right now, is a repeat client of mine. I haven't talked to him in years, but he called me and I pulled his credit and he had a 690 credit score. And I've never made a late payment in my life. And I said, actually, you do have a small collection. And it was only for, I think, $1,500 or something like that. It wasn't very much. And he says, God, I'll just pay that. I said, here's how we're going to do it. So I gave him all the instructions on how to do it. It's now been removed and deleted from all 3 reports. And I got him like 117-point improvement.
If they listen, that's the key.
They got to do what I tell them to.
Listen to what your father says. Listen to what the loan arranger says.
If I tell you how to do it, I'm telling you how to do it so it makes things better for you. But oftentimes what happens is people will say, oh, I don't want to talk to a lender because I know I've got some negative things on my credit report and I just want to fix them first. Don't do that.
No, let the lender tell you how.
Let me help you. But the problem is that I talk to clients all the time, Cleve, and they go, I was talking to another lender that my realtor referred me to, and they told me to do this and this. And I went, no, don't do it like that. Yeah. That's not going to get you the results.
Well, that's your experience. That's your years in the business, decades in the business doing that.
It's frustrating because you would hope that you're getting advice from somebody that's supposed to be trusted, and yet that person doesn't know what they're doing. Give out your phone number for
407-352-8118 for Cleve Loveland. If you want to make a real estate plan, I'll help you with your next home sale, buying your first home. You've got investment property. I just helped a gentleman, Bruce. Oh, it's just a capital mistake when you own investment property, letting a friend or family rent from you.
Big mistake.
3 different properties, all 3. Oh, they're my friends. They've been there more than 10 years. And I'm like, let me guess. And I said, are you getting X for rent? He said, no, I'm getting half X. Yes. And I was like, that's costing you money. This gentleman had his own debts, his own house to do work to, his own thing. You've got to, this is where I usually make people twice. I make them a substantial percentage, even when they use me and pay me for management. I make them more than they were making before and take all the headaches out.
So, and that's what you're supposed to do, right?
I literally, I've had you would not believe some of the stuff that tenants tell us, Bruce, like on why they're not going to pay rent and why they're not going to pay rent or why they're not going to pay a late fee and how they didn't do that damage to that door. And I'm like, really? The video evidence says all these things they go into, but they are tenants. And I think most time they always will be tenants. But unless you get smart and you buy something, and we can help you with that.
And not only that, Cleve, but you're right. Do you want to continue to be under control of a landlord for your entire life? So you and I own properties and we are landlords, okay? But we're also in the business of helping people achieve wealth. You're not going to achieve wealth if you don't own real estate. If you're a renter, I've never met a rich renter. Yeah. I know you can say,
well, talk to me about day trading and all. Yeah. Actually, Elon Musk did finally buy something. He's got a family compound.
At the end of the day, I'm talking about the average person. Yes, there's always an outlier there, but the average person, I don't know anyone that's wealthy that doesn't own real estate, at least their primary residence, right? So you've got to have a primary residence, and it fixes your debt. Your payments aren't going to go up other than maybe taxes or
Yeah.
insurance
Yeah.
going up. It's a fixed rate loan. It's not going anywhere.
But the leverage on your investment also could be your biggest investment and make more money on that than you do in your 401k.
100%, 100%. There's just and we believe in diversification of that. So we want you to have a 401k. We want you to be able to invest in real estate. So there's all kinds of things you need to do, but you've got to do a little bit of everything. You have to dollar cost average what you're doing. Don't put everything in real estate. Don't put everything in your 401k. Matter of fact, your 401k for a lot of people isn't doing all that great. It's doing okay, but there's other ways you can invest your money. It's a different show.
All right. So I see, Bruce, is sales picking up slightly. And let's see, another week or so, another 2 weeks, we'll have numbers for February. And we beat last year, January. Inventory is down. All the numbers are moving in the right direction. All the indicators that 25, we will beat 25 in sales. I was surprised that 25 actually beat 24. I mean, it was the last 3 months that pulled it out of the fire. And we ended up being like 4% above, just like the rest of the nation. New home sales right now are up. So I just see this trend continuing. And Florida always leads the way. The rest of the country, there are parts that the inventory is still growing nationwide.
Yes.
And they might be seeing like some deflation and some prices coming down a little bit just because there's less buyers out there. There's less money. So the median price gets skewed. But you look, this is a good market we're in. We've got about a 5-month supply. I think that's just going to get tighter. So I think it's a great time to buy. If you need anything, call me at 407-352-8118 or go to cleveloveland.com.
Yeah, or you can call the Lone Ranger at 407-250-9144 or go to webringyouhome.com. So we've got about a minute and a half left. I just want to prime you guys for what I'm going to cover in the next segment. So I want to talk about where interest rates are. I want to talk about how people can negotiate in today's market. I want you to give me your perspective, Cleve, on what you're seeing today, like what's going on, because today is a little different than it was even a month ago. Like the market is changing and evolving.
I haven't seen it roll that where all of a sudden sellers are like, whoa, I had some people call me like when Mandami won, they wanted to raise their prices because all the New Yorkers are coming. It doesn't work that way.
No, it does.
But no, I haven't seen it tightening up that much on inventory. Now, there are certain areas like I talked to a seller last summer. He had about 30 competitors around him. I just saw him again last week. He had about 15.
Yep.
So a little better. And he done some work to the home, but he really thinks, and the rates are better. So he can afford to do what he wants to do because he had a certain picture in mind of where he wanted to go. And I helped him plan that out. And now's the right time to go on the market. So it really depends on, I just think your plan, your personal plan, and things are moving pretty well, but the market is improving on just about all fronts.
Yeah, it is. And it is for us. We're seeing refinances pick up. A lot of folks are jumping in the market. Most of you that listen to my show are on my VIP rate watch list. And if you are in communication with me on when you should refinance, if you're not on my VIP rate watch list, you should get on it. So you need to call me now and send me your complete contact information. And I want to see your current mortgage statement as well. You can call or text 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. I'm here. I'll analyze it. I'll tell you when the right time to refinance is going to be. When we get back, we're going to talk about who can buy, who should be buying, and where are the opportunities in the market. We're back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report and the Lone Ranger Show. Don't go anywhere.